Hey, what's up, everybody? Coming to you today with the what's next on Masayoshi Nakatani. He is new into my top 10 in the 135-pound lightweight division. On Saturday, December 12th, he fought on an ESPN undercard as he served as a co-feature. He came in the underdog against Felix Verdejo and scored an upset 9th round knockout win over Verdejo to move himself up the ladder in the lightweight division. It was his first fight since losing for the first time in his career to Teofimo Lopez back in July of last year, 2019. And going into the fight, I picked Verdejo's talent over Nakatani's aggressiveness and his heart, I admit I was wrong. But it really was a 50-50 fight. A lot of people viewed it that way. It really was a 50-50 fight. So, picking Nakatani wasn't a bold pick is what I'm saying. It really could have went either way. So, I think it was a lot of people were going with Nakatani to pull off the upset here. So, I wasn't really surprised that he won. It was just, it was a back and forth, tough fight. Verdejo looked like he had Nakatani out of there early. And I think he pressed his foot on the gas pedal a little too much looking for the knockout. And, Verdejo doesn't have a lot of experience going late into fights like this. And I think moving around and sidestepping and different things like that, sticking and moving like he was doing, and he was doing it well, I just think it wore him out. And Nakatani took advantage, kept coming forward, kept landing straight right hands, and, ended up finishing Verdejo impressively in the 9th round of that fight. So now the big question is, what's next for Masayoshi Nakatani? Well, he how do I say this? He's his highest ranking in any governing body. Now this is as of today, because I check right before I do these what's next. He's rated at number 14 by the WBO. Now Verdejo is number 12. I'm sure that win is going to move him up significantly, at least into the top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets him around the top 5 after that win. But, we don't know what could be next. I mean, after reshaping everything, I'm sure he's going to get some love by some of the other governing bodies as well. And he might be able to move into an eliminator. But haven't really heard any talks about what he possibly could be doing. So let's look at the top 10 right now and see what could be possible for him. We start with number 1, a rematch with the undefeated and now undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Teofimo Lopez. Lopez beat him. He beat him convincingly by a decision. The only reason Lopez would even consider a fight like this would be if he wanted to win by knockout over Nakatani, but he doesn't need the fight. It's a risk for him after he won a clean decision. Even though it wasn't an easy one. And, I think when Lopez is setting up for a mandatory against George Kambosos anyways. And I just don't think he's going to take a step back and look at Nakatani. Not right now. Number 2 is Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko, I don't think wants to fight a guy the size of Nakatani. He's already undersized at 135. Nakatani doesn't have a big name. I don't see Lomachenko coming back in a fight like this after that loss to Lopez. Number 3 is undefeated WBA regular champion Javonte Davis. I don't see this one happening. Nakatani would be a lot bigger than Davis heading into this. Plus, Davis is a champion at 130 and 135, and I really think his next fight's going to be at 130 again. So I'm not seeing these two guys lock horns. Number 4 is former 3-division world champion Jorge Lanatis. Lanatis, I think, is going to try to get into some kind of an eliminator. I really see him doing that, getting against one of these other guys that fight for DAZN. I don't think he's going to look at a guy like Nakatani next because of Nakatani's style and heart. And I think I wouldn't be surprised because Lanatis is, very talented himself, and I think this would probably be an eliminator if the two locked it up, but I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm going to say no. Number 5 is former world title challenger Luke Campbell and former Olympic gold medalist. I don't see it. I think Campbell's going to get beat against Ryan Garcia on January 2nd, And after that, I don't see him facing a guy of Nakatani's level. And if he wins, he's lined up for a world title shot. So win or lose, I don't see Campbell facing a guy like Nakatani next. Number 6 is former IBF champion Richard Comey. I think this is the matchup for Nakatani right here. Comey, I think, is right around the corner from possibly coming back. He didn't fight at all in 2020. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on one of the first cards of 21, and then you never know after that. I think him and Nakatani would be is a great style matchup. I think it'd be an all-out war, and I'd love to see it. So I definitely think this one would be possible right here. Number 7 is former 130-pound champion Javier Fortuna. Now, if Fortuna couldn't land anything else, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys were to come together for a fight. I think Fortuna, though, is trying to line himself up for a WBC title shot. I think he probably doesn't want to risk it against a guy like Nakatani unless he had to. So we'll see what the WBC decides to rank Nakatani, if anything at all. Number 8 is undefeated George Kambosos. Not seeing it. Kambosos is lined up to fight Teofimo Lopez next for the IBF title, so I don't think so. Number 9 is former featherweight champion Lee Selby. I wouldn't be surprised here. Selby, I believe, should have won the fight against Kambosos. It was close, though, but I think he deserved the decision. I think for an eliminator, especially since Nakatani was in an IBF final eliminator just last year, I wouldn't be surprised if the IBF ranked Nakatani out of nowhere again and put him into a mandatory fight against a guy like Selby. So this fight really wouldn't surprise me at all right here. And that's it for the top 10 for Nakatani. So I think Comey's the most realistic one, followed by Selby, number 2. But it's really kind of up in the air. But I really wouldn't be surprised if they gave him some kind of an eliminator to get into. So we'll see what happens. But an impressive performance on Saturday, December 12th by Masayoshi Nakatani of Japan. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.